welcome to another episode of the College Football Tailgate. As always, it's me, XFL Jim, joined by the one and only Wolfie 2000, new and improved, and, of course, Uncle Rico. What's up, boys?
What is up?
Starting off with a heater, actually. I hate the Lakers 99. Eric, not a fan of your stuff today. Not a fan of your action.
Haters are going to hate, dude. Haters are going to hate.
I feel like this is our resident hater too. Maybe.
Look, the haters gonna hate, dude. You know.
He's already really. Well, I see one thing that he disagrees with that I agree.
I'm in a good mood today, dude. You know, I got my Christmas mug going. I got my Christmas lights up.
You're just skipping right over Thanksgiving, huh?
Dude, I'm fucking pro Christmas, dude. And then I found out Gosling's got a new movie coming out called The Fall Guy. Fucking stoked about that. And it's like douchey guy too. So.
Oh, Vince Corio, my man, coming up. He's calling Purdue over Michigan. He's gonna Purdue it.
It's per tough to Purdue. That's for sure.
I'm not gonna lie. I would love if what's the guy's name? Connor
Stallions, baby.
Yeah. He's hired now. How funny would it be if Ohio State just hired him?
It'd be amazing.
Well, I
would love seeing something like that happen.
Knowing what I know about Connor Stallions, maybe his whole plan was to get fired and then hired by Ohio State so he could take it down from the inside. I am of the mind. I've been sweating. I think this guy joined the Marines to make Michigan football better.
I personally don't like that he's giving horses a bad name on Breeders' Cup weekend. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
That picture at the Central Michigan sideline from earlier in the season was hilarious.
Here's why I like the shot, by the way, taking the shot Purdue versus Michigan. Guys, Jim Harbaugh only does the most embarrassing thing. And what would be more embarrassing than a loss to Purdue this year? There are
not a lot.
We've talked about them. We've talked about what the most embarrassing scenarios are. So those are the spots we're looking for. This would be pretty embarrassing, though.
Great week, though.
Who does Michigan have on deck?
Penn State, yeah.
Good situation.
Great week. Huge week ahead of us, boys. Let's get into it. Starting off, of course, with the big one. Yeah, Bobby Thomas. We can all get behind that.
Yep.
Biggest game of the week, I would say, UConn at Tennessee. Tennessee, a 35-point favorite. No money line posted over on our friends over at Bet Online, and over under a 55.5. No.
Yeah, UConn is on the auto fade list, and this spread is way too high. Let's not touch this at all.
Wisconsin at Indiana. Wisconsin's a 9.5-point road favorite, over under 46, plus 275 on the money line for the Hoosiers.
I got nothing.
I have something in this later, do I? Yes, I do. Something later. Stay tuned.
I might... I think it might be a spot to hit Indiana, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Jacksonville State at South Carolina. South Carolina, 15.5-point home favorite, over under 55, plus 500 on the money line for Jayville State. Chase, I know you have something here.
Yeah, I love this football team. I absolutely love this Jacksonville State football team. They are like number one in tempo in the country. Every time they snap the ball, they're going. This is going to be, I think, a shootout here. And I think it could honestly be whoever has the ball last wins. I'm going to take Jacksonville State in the points. I'm also going to sprinkle on the over here, 55.5. And I'm sprinkling on the money line, plus 475. Give me those Jack State cacks.
Aggressive. I like it. Big boy pants are on.
I did too. Ohio State heading to Piscataway for Rutgers. The Ohio State University is a 19.5-point road favorite, over under 42.5, plus 870 on the money line for Rutgers. Chase.
Give me Rutgers in the points, man.
They're covering machines.
They're covering machines, and I think the angle here is that Ohio State was just ranked number one in the CFP playoff, and I think that this is a spot where they might take their foot off the gas a little bit, and the Rutgers can cover this big of a number.
I have something for this a little bit later. Nebraska, Michigan State, baby! Nebraska, a 3-point road favorite, over under of 35, plus 146 on the money line for Michigan State. My instincts would be to tell me to take Michigan State because I don't believe Nebraska should be a road favorite at all.
Yeah.
I would dabble towards the under.
The system play here is to take Michigan State on the money line. You've got two, I won't say evenly matched teams. I do think Nebraska's better, but you have two closely matched teams, less than a field goal spread, and then you have a big number on the money line. You can go ahead and take the.
You know what I did do in this game though, because I don't.
If you say teaser,
no. This is not. I'm not putting this game in a teaser.
Just wait till you hear the teaser that he put together on Friday.
I went with I already told him about that one. I went with Michigan State's team total under 16.5. I think Nebraska's defense, if it does one thing, it's good at keeping teams like just low scoring. I think aside from Michigan and Colorado, I don't think a team has scored over 16 points against this Nebraska defense.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
They've been feisty and
they've been salty. We didn't expect that unit to be as good, and they're pretty good.
What was that, Eric?
MSU's offense is just a juggernaut. So.
Oh yeah. Let's make some money. MSU plus 3.5 on FanDuel. Grab a bottle of Jack and watch it.
I like that mentality.
Thumbs it up.
That's a winner's mentality.
From my team to Chase's team, Arkansas heading to the swamp where Florida is a 3-point home favorite, over under 49.5, plus 142 on the money line for the Razorbacks. Chase!
I think that if you don't think that Arkansas is the team to take in the spot, that you're crazy. You have Georgia coming off of the world's largest outdoor cocktail party and getting just manhandled. Florida getting manhandled by Georgia. You have Arkansas coming in off of a bye. They just fired Dan Enos. Who knows what the offense might look like? You still have KJ Jefferson. You still have Rocket Sanders. You still have some talented wide receivers. And it's salty defense that's tough against the run. I will say the buyer beware as I saw the Sacho uniform report, and Florida's debuting black unis, all blacks, for the first time in the swamp. So that's the buyer beware. But I'm actually seeing this has moved quite a bit because it was Arkansas plus 200 on Thursday. Now it's Arkansas plus 135. Give me the Hogs on the money line to get it done in the swamp. But beware of the black unis.
SportsFacts has a question. Is that an Xmas mug?
Damn right it fucking is, dude. Jesus,
also,
dude.
Oh, blacks, you say, Chase. I love that one black guy. Go ahead, Eric.
So, look, I got this one early. I took Arkansas plus 6, and I got him on the money line. Obviously, this price has dropped insane. So, if you missed the boat on that, I would say just take Arkansas first half money line, just because Florida has no idea what this Arkansas offense is going to look like. I expect it's going to be a lot faster. Rocket Sanders is coming back, and Pittman is pretty good ATS first half as a dog. So I would play the first half money line as well if you missed the plus 6 and the plus 190, 200 on the money line.
Texas A&M, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 3-point home favorite, over under a 52, plus 130 on the money line for Texas A&M. I didn't do anything in this one.
Ole Miss does have Georgia on deck, but I couldn't get there with Texas A&M.
Like, that was the thing with me. Ole Miss has Georgia on deck, but also I feel like Lane loves to embarrass Jimbo. Like, I feel like
I'm in on Ole Miss next week. So I would love for Ole Miss to actually lose and get more value so we can get an inflated number against Georgia.
Okay.
That's fair.
Kansas State, Texas. Texas is a 3.5-point home favorite, over under 49, plus 157 on the money line. I being chased for sure. I just took K-State straight up.
K-State straight up.
Yep. I think the line play is going to be big. I don't trust what Texas is trotting out at quarterback. And this is just a gut feel in my heart. K-State's kind of owned Texas.
Yeah.
You sound like a country singer right there.
My heart.
Yeah. In his El Camino. Yeah, here's the deal: is K-State runs the ball really well. When I think of teams that have given Texas fits, I'm thinking specifically of Wyoming. How tough, of a time Texas had putting Wyoming away. It's a team that runs the ball really well. I feel like K-State might be able to control the clock, control the tempo, and plus no Quinn Ewers. You got the freshman quarterback. What'd you say?
Which is big.
Okay, I thought you're going to be like, no, he's back. I was like, oh, damn it. I'm still, yeah. I think it's insane to get this big of a price, especially with Quinn Ewers on the bench. Give me K-State.
Yeah, I mean, Murphy has the arm. I mean, this kid can throw, but his touch isn't the best.
Yeah.
Look, I hate to use the term putrid, but look, putrid against BYU, the way to attack this Kansas State defense is through the air. I don't know if Murphy can do that. And the Texas running game, even though their offensive line is grading out well, they lost their top two backs, so they're really struggling moving the ball. I mean, I would lean Kansas State here, but I didn't bet it.
Notre Dame, Clemson. Notre Dame is a 3-point road favorite, over under 44.5, plus 145 on the money line. This was alluded to earlier in the show. We'll go around this way. So Eric, this way. Eric,
all right.
start us
So
off.
I hate the fact I'm doing this, but I'm taking Clemson plus.
I hate the fact that you're doing it too.
Our boy Dabo, as a dog of 3 or more, is 57% ATS. A dog against ranked opponents, he is 60% ATS. The key to the Notre Dame offense is the run game. I've been saying it since the game against Ohio State. They don't have the athleticism at the wide receiver position to create separation. Clemson's defense is actually pretty good against the run. I feel this number is obviously inflated because Notre Dame is coming off a 51-point win against Pitt. Clemson's coming off a loss against NC State. Now, let me ask you guys this. Who's better, Florida State or Notre Dame?
Oh, it's Florida State.
What was the line when Florida State played
Florida State.
Clemson? Florida State was only laying 1.5, 2.
It was pretty cool.
Now Notre Dame's laying 3. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a perception value thing for me. Clemson also, I'm looking at one of the most unluckiest teams in the college football. They have the most fumbles this year in all of college football. They're due for some positive turnover regression. Also, how would their season have played out differently if that kid would have made the field goal? If that kid makes a field goal, they beat Florida State.
True.
Obviously going to be a little bit in a different position. Shipley, it's looking like he's out, which is actually kind of good because this other running back, Maffa, better splits, grading out better per PFF. Dabo, 57% ATS, off a loss at home. Give me Clemson plus the 3, and I fucking hate myself for doing it.
What do you got, Chase?
I'm on Notre Dame minus 2.5. What I'm looking at is I'm seeing the line at minus 2.5, and the odds are juiced up minus 125. For some reason, I feel like they really don't want to move this line to 3 or 3.5. And it makes me feel like the book is telling me something. Typically, this would be a spot where it's a reflex play Clemson. But fuck Clemson and fuck Dabo Swinney. I really do not like this football team, even though Uncle Rico does have some very excellent points as to, in terms of them just being unlucky and a little bit of a mojo shift with that field goal. I'm still going to lay on Notre Dame. I like that big boy defense, and I'm actually going to sprinkle a little bit here on this under 44.5.
I hate the Lakers took the alternate spread of Notre Dame minus 14.5.
Good luck.
Jesus.
My heart wants that to happen a lot.
I'm also on Notre Dame minus 3. This is just based on, I feel like the walls are just falling down around Clemson at the moment because of the non-mojo shift. I feel like this ship is going and not in a good direction. I'm rolling with Notre Dame here. Georgia Tech at Virginia. UVA is a 1-point home favorite, over under 56.5, minus 103 on the money line for Georgia Tech.
If this game was last week, I would have played it.
Yeah. Who would you have played?
I would have faded Virginia coming off the win against North Carolina.
Yeah, I want to go Georgia Tech here. I really do. But I'm just staying away.
I got burned going with Miami last week to fade was it Virginia off of that big win. But once again, it's kind of like just a reflex situation for me here in terms of what the spread is, what the odds I can get. If I can get plus money on Georgia Tech here with this small of a spread, I'm going to take the swing. Also, I really like this Georgia Tech football team, though. Me and Jim have had a lot of conversations about how plucky Virginia is. I think Virginia might be a cover machine also. Like they're doing pretty good at ATS because they get some big spreads and they either surprise win or cover.
Dangerous. Yeah, I couldn't get there. Navy, Temple. Navy, a 7-point road favorite, over under 46, plus 210 on the money line for the Hootie Hoo Owls of Temple. I wanted to stay away from this one. Anyone got anything in Navy, Temple?
Nothing. I am so disappointed with Temple.
I can tell. Hey, Eric, how's that bowl bet coming, baby?
Yeah, someone's walking around with their chest high. Someone's walking around.
Someone's walking around with their chest high and not waxed.
Arizona
State.
Look at that taco meat.
Arizona State, Utah. Utah's a 10.5-point home favorite. Over under of 39, plus 335 on the money line for the Sun Devils.
Nothing.
Bobby Thomas also going back and saying future Michigan State head coach on the Georgia Tech staff.
That would make my fucking day, dude. If they get Faulkner, dude, that would make my day. But they are totally gonna f up this hire.
Army Air Force. Air Force a 17.5-point home favorite. Over under of 32, plus 790 on the money line for Army. Eric and Chase. Eric, go ahead.
To me, this is math. Total is 32.5. The spread is 8. I got it at 18.5. Anything over 17, I like. I'm obviously on Army here, plus the points. Dogs in these matchups with the service academies are 62% ATS. When the dog is getting 14.5 or more, it's up to 67% ATS. Army's used to this offense with the way they're going to run the ball. The clock is going to bleed. Hard to cover these big numbers this season with the new clock rule system. Favorites of over 2 touchdowns, that's 14.5 or more, 48% ATS. And even against Navy didn't even have 100 yards of offense. And they should have covered that game if they didn't go for 2 at the end. These are just two teams know each other. I'll take Army here plus the 18.5.
Chase.
Give me the over in this game. 32.5. I can get even money on this over. I could honestly see a game where Air Force puts up 35 on Army, no problem. I could also easily see a game where Army's quarterback just goes bananas because he can do that. He has that capability to take a game over. If they can't figure him out early, they're not going to be able to figure him out late. They're more likely to figure him out because it's a 2 triple option teams going against each other. But I think that this number might be low just because of the scoring power that Air Force has on their own, how good they are, the chance that they might be able to dominate Army, and the fact that Army's got a legit scoring threat under center that touches the ball every single play.
Good stuff. UL Lafayette, Arkansas State. Louisiana Lafayette, 7-point road favorite, over under 59.5, plus 255 on the money line for Arkansas State.
Brilliant tactician, Butch Jones, probably the most underrated coach in America at Arkansas State.
Former CMU great.
You think Butch Jones knows Connor Stallions?
Yes, 100%.
I would also agree with that.
With that military flat top, it's actually after Connor Stallions resigned, his helicopter landed onto Butch Jones's flat top. Breeders' Cup. All right, I need to know which double, and thank you very much. That's nice to hear. I appreciate that.
As we keep trudging along, South Florida at Memphis. Memphis is a 13.5-point home favorite. Over under of 68, plus 420 on the money line for South Florida. No, thank you.
No,
UTSA. Yeah. No, thank you. UTSA, North Texas. UTSA is an 8-point road favorite. Over under of 71, plus 260 on the money line for North Texas. You know what? Give me North Texas plus 8.
I might be letting them back into the group home. I kind of like that play too. I'm not going to touch it because I have so many other things today. But
No mean green for me.
I think he let's make some money just wants just a double play.
All right, I'll give you a double ending in the Breeders' Cup Classic, starting with the Breeders' Cup turf. But we'll let them roll through some football games, and I'll throw it out at you.
Hell yeah. Yeah, give me North Texas plus the 8, by the way.
Teaser in the industry.
It's a teaser. It is a teaser. Eric, just wait. On the last week, I'm going to make a pleaser.
I think I'm gonna leave my stick day that week.
FAU, UAB, it's a pick'em. Over under a 59. Okay, so after this week, the ugly wife will be here. How many losses are we at with UAB?
I have no idea, dude.
I might have to make a transition.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed with the graphics department, dude. I thought
you and me both, Eric. You and me both. They need to actually put in some more work.
I still want the ugly mom to be tan mom too, like the mother that turned herself into a piece of leather in the tanning bed.
Now that I discovered being AI, maybe I can make some stuff happen here. Coastal Carolina, ODU, also a pick'em. Over under a 51.5.
I mean, ODU. No, I messed up my teaser, but ODU is the best team this year against the spread. Yeah. Best team this year against the spread. ODU. Obviously, with this line being a pick'em, that means McCall's obviously out for Coastal. I want nothing to do with it.
So the way I've heard some people saying it, it sounds like McCall might just be out for the rest of the year.
Really?
Yeah. It's not. I heard something to that effect also, that he just might be done.
He might just be done at Coastal, which would suck.
Really?
Yeah. Central Florida, Cincinnati. Oh wait,
we love Big Bird. I was going to say we love the Big Bird McCall, but yeah,
I love him so much. UCF, Cincinnati, Central Florida is a 3.5-point road favorite. Over under 60.5 plus 155 on the money line. I did it. I'm taking UCF minus the 3.5. I think Cincinnati might be one of the worst teams in the Big 12 right now.
I mean, they're
bottom two for sure.
They're a case study for sure. They should not be as bad as they are.
It's maybe is it Satterfield? Is it Scott Satterfield?
But it seems like these two teams that are coming in from group of 5 conferences. It's like these. All right, so these group of 5 teams that have jumped into the Big 12. It's like they do really well against each other, but they fucking do terrible against the teams that have been in the Big 12 for a little bit. So I can see this game being a lot closer than it actually is, than the spread alludes to.
That's fair, but I at least feel like Central Florida's been way more competitive than Cincinnati has recently.
Completely true. They haven't been lawn chairs against these Big 12 traditional teams.
Florida State at Pitt. FSU is a 21.5-point road favorite. Over under 50.5 plus 1,000 on the money line. Was that you raising your hand, Eric?
No, I was just doing the ponder.
Give me Pitt. Give me Pitt.
The fighting Narduzzi's.
Give me the fight. This is what Pitt does. I don't give a shit who the coach is. This is the Pitt. This is what they do. They ruin teams' seasons. Give me Pitt plus 21.5. I'm a sprinkle on Pitt money line.
Yeah, I don't want any part.
I'm gonna do
in
it.
This game. I don't want any part.
10-1 plus 1,000. Give me Pitt. Krish coming in. What are y'all thoughts on the Ole Miss game? Just put 7 units on Ole Miss money line. Everyone's putting on their big boy pants today. Everyone is putting on their big boy pants.
I mean, dude,
speaking of
firing, dude.
Speaking of making some money in big boy pants, for let's make some money 69. I've got a Breeders' Cup Turf Breeders' Cup Classic double for them, and we're gonna use the 8 up to the mark and the 12 Balladeer in a daily double in the Classic with number 8 Ushpa Tesoro.
I like it. I like
and
it.
And if you want to get saucy or salsa-y, sprinkle a little money on Senor Buscador as a win place bet.
Nice. Penn State, Maryland. Penn State 8.5 road favorite. Over under of 50.5 plus 275 on the money line for the Terps. Give me Penn State minus the 8.5. Do it. Do it. I don't care how bad they've looked in these last couple games. They live to just embarrass Maryland. And this is November,
true.
Maryland.
This is kind of like a rivalry game too, I think.
It's a rivalry game, but Penn State just dominates.
Yeah.
I really want to take Maryland here because
I bet you do.
It's Michigan on deck, but I don't understand why James Franklin is having their quarterback throw the ball down the field against flipping Indiana. Where was this against Ohio State? I don't understand Penn State.
Right.
I don't like little Tua's brother. I don't like this whole Maryland team, so I passed, but I really wanted to get to Maryland.
I forgot you were racist against Hawaiians, Eric.
I'm not. I just he's a good quarterback, dude. I just think he's an awful quarterback.
He'll never be able to go to Maui again after that shit, Jim. God.
I just think Penn State lives to just embarrass and own Maryland, combined with the fact that this is Maryland outside the month of September. Give me Penn State.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't forget, guess who? Hey, Eric, you sure Maryland's not overlooking this game? You know who they have on deck?
Nebraska?
Yeah, baby. On Peacock. Tulane, East Carolina.
Can't even get on the mothership, huh? Have to be.
No, couldn't even get on. The Green Wave is a 17-point road favorite against the Pirates. Over under 44.5 plus 640 on the money line for ECU.
If they were at home, I'd be all over Tulane here. Since they're on the road, I'm not going to fucks with it.
You know, ECU has been one of the more disappointing teams for me this year. They're awful.
Yeah, they've been bad.
They lost everybody, though. I mean, they
They're
lost.
bad, and they should feel bad for it.
They're bad, and they should feel bad.
That one, yeah. Nebraska can't even get on a top 4 streaming service.
They're relegated to Hula.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be on Tubi by the time you fucking notice.
Now streaming on Crackle.
Virginia Tech, Louisville. Louisville is a 9.5-point home favorite. Over under 48.5 plus 295 on the money line.
I got nothing.
Who is it? Say it again.
Virginia Tech, Louisville.
Oh man, no.
You give me Virginia Tech plus 10.
We got undercover tether TV.
Yeah.
I had a feeling this was him before he or she or whichever.
Once they said Boomer Sooner.
Yeah. Sorry, we're they and you. It's just the name Jesse. You understand. You've had the name Jesse your whole life.
And we'll get to that later. But
yeah.
I know I believe Chase has a play in that game. Yeah, I'm taking Virginia Tech plus 10 versus Louisville. Virginia Tech feisty. I'm just going to call them that. Feisty. That's the only word.
They are.
That's all
feisty.
the analysis you need from me.
A little feisty.
Iowa, Northwestern. Iowa's a 5-point road favorite. Over under 31.5 plus 175 on the money line for Northwestern. Boy, I want to take Northwestern here.
Sorry,
anyone
bro.
that bets this game, props to you. Games at Wrigley, BTW.
Yeah, it is at Wrigley.
Tickets are going for a robust $90. Who the hell is paying $90?
Who's paying that?
In a football stadium. Like, imagine sitting over one of the end zones where you couldn't see half the field because you're up like, oh, dude. Like,
Northwestern played a game there. Everyone had to go one way because there wasn't how they set up the field. There wasn't enough room.
Right. Right. It's some high school flag football shit. I think we know what I'm playing here, right?
I'm going to join you, Chase. I'm going to join you.
Listen, if the total is more than 4 points, I'm playing the under in Iowa games this season.
Didn't this total go up? Didn't it start at sub 30?
29.
Yeah, 29 and a half.
And it went up to 30 and a half? Yes, please.
Gross. Who
are these people betting overs in Iowa games enough to move the line towards the over? I want
to take Northwestern here so bad, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna take the under with Chase.
Do it. Take Northwestern, Jim. Do it.
Bobby Thomas in the chat. I bet the over
You are a
29 and a
fool.
half.
You are a damn fool.
I'm going to do it. Northwestern +5. And dare I sprinkle? I do dare. Northwestern, I'm sprinkling the money line.
They did the job last week.
So, okay, is Brian gonna be there, or is he?
So he's there. He's just at the end of the year. He's not coming back. He's writing out the year. They're just not bringing him back next year.
He doesn't give a fuck about scoring points now.
How funny is it gonna be if he just rolls out 5 wide receiver sets, no huddle,
puts up 60 points.
The DB comes back. They have him playing both ways. They're running Wildcat with him, like just creative as hell.
Apparently, the cheese stands alone here. By the way, just me here on the under. Okay, all right.
I'm on the under with you, Chase. Don't worry.
Maybe we're the fool, Jim. We'll see.
JMU, Georgia State. James Madison is a 6-point road favorite. Over under 53 plus 185 on the money line for the Panthers of Georgia State.
I don't touch Georgia State or Georgia Southern games because I cannot keep straight in my mind which team is which.
I would lean Georgia State, but I'm staying away from this one. Illinois, Minnesota. Minnesota, 1.5-point home favorite. Over under 44 plus 105 on the money line for the Illini. No, thank you.
Nothing.
Houston, Baylor. Baylor, a 2.5-point home favorite against Houston. Over under 59 plus 125 on the money line for the Cougs.
Nothing.
Yeah, let's make some money. I also wanted Georgia State. I don't think they'll be able. I think JMU will kind of pull it away. Bedlam, baby. Oklahoma State. Oklahoma, a 5-point road favorite. Over under 62 plus 180 on the money line for OK State. It's Bedlam. I just took the over. Chase, go ahead.
Yeah, OK State on the money line. Straight up. Let's go. I think that OK State does it a little bit differently than they have in years past. I think they run the ball really well. And I think we saw what a capable run game was able to do against Oklahoma last week with Kansas, who was able to kind of gash them on the ground. So I think that Oklahoma State might be able to do the same. Plus, it's Bedlam, and you don't fuck with Mike Gundy. You don't fuck with Mike Gundy.
No one's thinking about him.
No one is. This is the perfect Oklahoma State spot.
Uncle Rico, you were right against Oklahoma last week. Yeah, we were.
We were right.
Everyone was against Oklahoma that time. Eric, what do you got?
Here's a trivia question. Since 2005, who is the most profitable coach against the spread?
Mike Gundy.
Mike the Man Gundy. I've been saying this since the Cincinnati game. Oklahoma is a bluff. All everyone talked about was their defense. Metrics is skewed because of the game against Tulsa and the game against Arkansas State. Kansas beat them with Beam, who is a backup quarterback.
You put some respect on Jason Bean's name.
He tried to transfer, but no other team wanted him. So he had to go back to Kansas. That's the level he was. And they completely shredded that Oklahoma defense. Oklahoma cannot stop the run. Kansas, 225 yards, 5.5 an attempt. UCF was able to move the ball running with them. Plus the big thing, Stutzman, who is their best defensive player for Oklahoma, he's banged up. He hasn't practiced all week per his ankle against Kansas. If he doesn't go, Ollie Gordon's going to have a field day running the ball. Even if he does play, Gordon's going to be able to be electric in the running game. And what's that going to do? That's going to open up the play action pass that Oklahoma State is going to be able to take advantage of. Also, you look at Oklahoma. No playmakers on the outside. Best wide receivers hurt. Running back, they're obviously lost Gray. Not having Gray back there, huge loss. They're hurt on the offensive line. Their best defensive player is hurt. I'm taking OK State. I got them at +6 and +190 on the money line.
I know this is something that
I love Tether TV so much.
I know this is something that we can only speculate on, but it's something that Tether TV here says, which is on our way to the SEC. Doesn't that make you wonder that the referees are going to be completely against Oklahoma in this game as just like a
They
fuck
haven't-
you on the way out the door?
The issue is they haven't been. Like, I've watched a couple Oklahoma and Texas games. They really haven't been too much against them.
I don't.
It's more brutal in like the Pac-12 where they're obviously still trying to favor USC.
That pass interference game at the end of the first half was comical in the UCF game. That was one of the worst calls you'll see. And then there was that fumble in the red zone. I mean, I wouldn't say the refs would be against them.
I hope they are.
I just like what I've noticed is that for the Pac-12 and Big 12, the refs just haven't been against the leaving teams. It's been weird. Missouri, Georgia. Georgia's a 15-point home favorite, over under 55.5, plus 535 on the money line for Missouri.
I'm swinging at the big number here. I'm going to say Georgia covers the 15.5. I think you saw them wake up last week against Florida. Now they kind of know it's game time. Now that they're back into the actual like meat of the schedule, and they don't really have very much competition in the meat of their schedule. So I think Georgia gets the win. It's another neck crack game. They cover the 15.5. And also I'm playing in on the Georgia maybe feeling disrespected angle due to the fact that they weren't number one in the CFP playoff rankings.
I'm going to say this. 2 comments. Number one, if you think Missouri is going to win, you have to find a future for them to make the college football Final Four, or a future. I know some books are up to 300-1.
That's a good point.
To win it all. But I'm going to say this. Sometimes we tend to outthink the room. We just need to look at it in simplest terms. Missouri can't run the ball. The way to beat Georgia is running the ball. Georgia elite in the back four. Missouri's going to look to pass. I would lean Georgia here if I had to bet the game.
I would too. I like Chase said specifically. I just feel Georgia's like, this is the time this year, basically when November hits, is they turn it on. They get ready. They can look weak. They've looked like weak in September and early October for the last 2-3 years, and then they just turn it on and then they're unbeatable. It's like clockwork with this team. Charlotte, Tulsa. The Clit's a 4-point underdog on the road, over under 48, plus 160 on the money line. Chase, are you teasing it? Are you giving a little love there?
Yeah. I'm
not putting in a teaser, but I'm just saying, giving it a little love.
Just lightly stroking it, blowing on it just a little bit. Give me the disrespected Biff Poggi and Charlotte on the money line. When you see Biff Poggi, you better at least act how his day was. That's why y'all picked him last in the conference. I'm out.
You know what, Chase? I'm going to get on Charlotte plus 4.
How does it make you feel that this game is on ESPN Plus? Like, where do you rank the streaming systems? Is ESPN Plus ahead of Peacock?
Yeah, because it's like way cheaper.
Yeah,
ESPN Plus is like $6 a month.
You can watch ESPN Plus on Hulu.
Oh,
so,
also true.
So this gets a better slot than the old Nebraska game against Maryland.
Yeah, it does, definitely.
What is Nebraska Maryland on?
It's on Peacock. It's on the CAC.
Oh, okay. At least it's not on like HBO Max.
Yeah, they're going to start putting some games on there too.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, baby, because they just partnered with Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report.
No,
that
it was like
Titan of football broadcast. Bleacher Report.
It's like BR. It's so stupid.
BR Sports. Yeah.
Yeah. ULM, Southern Miss. Southern Miss is a 3-point home favorite, over under of 56, plus 130 on the money line for ULM.
I'm not playing it, but I do love this ULM team and think they're plucky and cover spreads.
I got nothing.
Nothing for me. Auburn, Vanderbilt. Auburn's a 12.5-point road favorite, over under 50, plus 400 on the money line for Vanderbilt in the parking lot.
The construction site?
And the parking lot.
The combination parking lot the combination football game construction site?
I want nothing to do with that one.
Nope.
Hawaii, Nevada. Nevada's a 3.5-point home favorite against Hawaii, over under 50.5, plus 145 on the money line for the Rainbow Warriors. I'm putting Hawaii back up on the shelf. They're going away for the year.
They're benched.
They're benched.
They're getting their pink slip.
They had a great like week 2 to week 4, and then they're back on the shelf. Yeah, back on the shelf for them. Georgia Southern, Texas State. Texas State's a 2.5-point home favorite, over under 69, plus 115 on the money line for Georgia Southern.
This might be a pretty good football game.
I suspect it will be. Georgia Southern is all or nothing. I'm going with them being all. Give me Georgia Southern on the money line here against Texas State.
Yeah, kind of like it.
Banger game. Cal, Oregon. Oregon is a 24.5-point home favorite against the Cal Bears. Over under of 60 points, plus 1,500 on the money line. Give me the over. Give me the over.
Okay.
You know what? Give me the over. Cal's been putting up points. They've been putting up points. I think Oregon probably like dominates this game, but give me the over. Marshall, App State. App State, 3-point home favorite, over under 55, plus 140 on the money line for Marshall.
No. Just no to App State covering spreads. No to App State like spotting teams' points so they can just play, in an instant classic. I'm done touching App State spreads. Nah.
Let's make some money. 69. Wilcox as a dog. I agree. Also, I also want to take Marshall here. I do.
I would lean Marshall here too, but nothing.
I have it a little later in the show.
Ooh,
Louisiana Tech. Eric, it's a real bad one this week. La Tech, Liberty. Liberty's a 15-point home favorite, over under 59, plus 550 on the money line for La Tech. No, thank you.
I got nothing.
If anything, I would take La Tech to cover. They're not at home. They're good. They're a good home team. They're a terrible road team.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one. Middle Tennessee State, New Mexico State. New Mexico State, a 3.5-point home favorite, over under 55, plus 145 on the money line. Our boy, friend of the show, Christian, asked about this game. I think he's riding Middle Tennessee State. Eric, what do you got in this one?
I'm taking Middle Tennessee State too. I feel they're a little bit more battle tested. Let's look at who New Mexico State has played. They beat Western Illinois, New Mexico, FIU, Houston, UTEP, and Louisiana Tech. Lost to UMass, Hawaii, and Liberty. Flip side, Middle Tennessee State, Murray State, La Tech, Bama, Missouri, Colorado State, Western Kentucky, Chases, Jacksonville State, and Liberty. I just feel New Mexico State is a little bit more battle tested.
Wait, New Mexico State or Middle Tennessee State?
Middle Tennessee State.
Okay.
Excuse me. Middle Tennessee State's a little bit more battle tested. They need to win out in hopes to get to a bowl game. I think they're going to be able to limit New Mexico State's rushing attack, and then they're going to be able to take advantage of New Mexico State's back four and throw the ball on them. I'm on Middle Tennessee State here, plus the points.
So I want to be on New Mexico State, and I can't make myself do it. And the reason being for wanting to be on New Mexico State is the fact that it's two angles that I really love, which is a team from the East going west and a team changing elevations going into that higher elevation in New Mexico. And I just can't make myself go there. Like, Middle Tennessee has actually played against some football teams, so it's really tough. It's a tough game I applaud anyone who has an opinion that they feel like makes money here.
I really wanted to be New Mexico State just because I have a future on them, and for that reason, I'm staying away. I'm just riding this future. Hopefully, they win. Other than that, staying away. UNLV, New Mexico. UNLV, a 12-point road favorite. Over under of 60 points, plus 360 on the money line for New Mexico. No
God,
idea.
I'm going to be sweating out this goddamn over 3.5 like no other.
Probably the rest of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have one more winnable game.
Bobby Thomas coming in. I want to be on top of J-Lo.
Respect.
Hey, man. Respect that.
Yeah. BYU, West Virginia. West Virginia, a 12.5-point home favorite. Over under 48.5, plus 395 on the money line for the Cougs.
I want to be on the Cougs so bad. Like, so bad, but I just couldn't in my head play it out with a scenario.
I can't figure out if the Mormon fans traveling will be completely appalled by West Virginia or feel right at home in West Virginia. So I want no part of this game.
Give me BYU. Give it to me. I can't quit this team. No matter how many times they disappoint me this year. Give me BYU plus 12.5.
God damn it. That New Mexico total is going to come down to the day after Thanksgiving against Utah State. So I'm going to be with my family. I'm like, sorry guys, we need to watch Utah State, New Mexico right now.
New Mexico. What's on? What's on right now? Is that Michigan, Ohio? Turn that shit off.
Turn that
shit off.
Speaking of Utah State at San Diego State. Utah State is a 2-point road favorite at San Diego State, over under 57 plus 115 on the money line for SDSU.
Remember when I thought Snapdragon Stadium would have some sort of magic for San Diego State? That was wrong.
Yeah, they're
I got nothing.
very much disappointing. Kansas, Iowa State. Iowa State is a 3-point home favorite, over under of 54 plus 127 on the money line for the Jayhawks. Eric.
Situational fade on Kansas for me. I locked this in at -2.5. I still like the -3. Looks like Daniels isn't going to go. This means Beam is going to be going for Kansas. When you look at his numbers, he really didn't look good at all against that stout Oklahoma defense. Iowa State should be able to limit Neal because they are very good defending the run, should be able to put some pressure on Beam, make him uncomfortable, which is going to lead him to go through their progressions because Iowa State is elite against the pass. And I love this kid, Rocco. I'm going to put a future on Rocco to win the Heisman next year. He's looked good. He's looked better every single week. You can throw on this Kansas defense, which had multiple injuries against Oklahoma. Campbell at home in Big 12 play versus a ranked opponent is 62% ATS. I'm on Iowa State here. I got him at 2.5, anything 3 or lower.
I also shout out Matt Campbell for the coaching job he's done with how many, Eric, you guys remember previewing this team and how bad we thought they'd be?
Their entire offensive line. Their entire starting offensive line was suspended for gambling. How are they having a good season at all? It's incredible.
I think they're still technically alive for the Big 12.
They could.
They only have one conference loss, Ross.
Right? There's 4 or 5 teams alive for it.
It's it's Oklahoma. Well, not as much now, but it's Texas, K-State, Iowa State, Oklahoma State.
I see the same thing it's Iowa State -2.5, and the odds I can get is -125, and it feels like another instance where they really for some reason don't want to move this line to 3 or 3.5. So it seems like Iowa State is probably definitely the play here.
And I mean, you have Kansas just coming off
a huge
win,
yeah.
Getting ranked now again. There's a lot of things pointing against Kansas.
Against a backup quarterback.
Stop respecting my boy Bean. You stop it. I'm gonna shout his name, dude. I was yelling his name so much last weekend.
Bean!
Washington, USC. The Huskies are 3-point road favorites, over under of 77.5 plus 130 on the money line for the Trojans. Start off with Chase.
I'm feeling saucy. I'm feeling like a saucy understaker. Give me the under 76.5 here, -105. That number is gigantic. I know this USC defense is dog shit, but I think it's going to be maybe a little bit more competitive game because either Washington is sliding or they're getting everyone's absolute best shot. If USC gives them their best shot, I think the defense stiffens up a little bit. And, I think the under is the play.
What about you, Uncle Rico?
I'm on USC here plus the 3. Look, Washington is banged up. Plus, the way to attack this USC's defense is running the ball. Washington can't run the ball at all. Also, let's look at it. Washington's best defensive lineman is banged up. We don't even know if he's going to go. And they are insanely hurt in the back 4. I was reading this article, and I'm spacing on the name of it because I'd like to quote the guy. And he said the difference between when you look at Washington versus the other top 10 teams, the difference with them is their injury margin. They don't have the talent at the second and third on the depth chart as these other teams do. So when they start to get banged up, there is a significant drop off in the talent level. So their whole back 4 is hurt. Now let's just look at last week. I think we can all agree Stanford is not an offensive juggernaut. They gave up 495 yards to the Stanford Cardinals. Were outgained in that game. The week before against Arizona State, they gave up 341 yards. Were outgained by Arizona State. And if Arizona State had a kicker, they would have lost that game. The week before, they were outgained by Oregon. And if Lenning had a clue, they would have lost that game. Three games in a row, they've been outgained. Wide receivers are banged up. They can't run the ball. This defense can be thrown on, especially when the injuries in the back four. I think Caleb Williams is going to be able to pick apart and throw it. So I have the healthier team, the team at home, and the team with the better offense getting points. I got to take USC here plus 3.
I'm staying away from this one. Didn't touch it. I will be watching this game, though. It's a must-watch TV. SMU Rice. SMU is a 13-point road favorite. Over under of 59 plus 390 on the money line for the Hootie Hoo Owls of Rice.
Hootie Hoo?
I hate the Lakers. I like to bet these high totals live after an early score.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not touching this SMU Rice game. Kentucky. Mississippi State. Kentucky is a 5-point road favorite. Over under 45.5 plus 185 on the money line for Mississippi State. No, thank you.
Yeah, nothing.
Purdue, Michigan. Michigan is a 32.5-point home favorite. Over under 53.5. No money line posted over at our friends over at Bet Online.
All right. Question for the panel. At what point with Michigan, like how much bullshit is too much bullshit to where it starts affecting their play? Because I feel like they're starting to hit that level, like where they'll have just a terrible game because they've had to deal with so much just like other bullshit because of this whole sign stealing thing, like Harbaugh being suspended for a little while. It seems like they're just bullshit follows where they go right now. So that is the question that I posit to the panel.
I wonder if it depends if it ramps.
It is a
up.
football on a shelf.
That is a football. That's 2 footballs on my shelf.
Yeah. And a helmet.
Yeah. And just some casino chips.
Yeah.
Really maximizing that space on that shelf, I see.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I don't have a lot. I still don't have a lot of stuff right now.
Remember, join us every Saturday for college football picks and a game of photo hunt.
Yeah. It's I Spy.
You can look at it like this. Number one, is Harbaugh going to do this? Hey, guys, they're holding us down. It's us against the world. And is he going to fire the guys up like this? Yeah. Number two, you have a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds constantly being asked the same question. How much is that going to mentally strain on them? Lastly, look, how deep does this thing go? Like, is this like really a big thing?
Yeah. So, like, is another shoe about to drop? Like, is it about to get crazy?
But let's be honest. Like, if you had this guy there and he's basically relaying, hey, run right, run left, look for the post, blah, 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 whatever. Is it really, you know what I mean? Like, how big of a thing was this on the sidelines? Because it does kind of stick out. Michigan hasn't been winning and covering at bowls, and that's usually when teams change everything. So during the regular season the last couple of years, they've been stout winning and stout covering. And then when you go to these bowl games and everyone changes all the signals because you have extended time, so it allows these kids to learn new stuff.
New signals, yeah.
They struggle. So maybe this is a big thing. And if that's the case, does Purdue have the offensive fortitude to take advantage?
The answer to that question is no.
No.
Exactly. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna be on Penn State next week because I think they do with their running game, and I'm gonna be on them with Ohio State. But for now, this is just a stay away.
God damn it, Uncle Rico, you are smart. I feel like just yelling at you like the drill sergeant and Forrest Gump, just like, God damn it, Uncle Rico. You got to be the smartest goddamn person I know. You must be a goddamn genius. That is the smartest thing I've heard in a while. Yes, thank you for figuring that out for me.
I did get a 32 on my ACT hungover. No big deal.
Nice. I got a 23, clear-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I showed up in the same clothes I wore the night before going out, and I had to borrow this girl who I won't name her pencil, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then I found out in my class reunion she had a crush on me all those years ago, and I had a crush on her. What could have been?
Oh,
If I get if I'm about to be the lowest score in the room and get ACT unit shamed, I'm fucking quitting this show.
I'm not saying what I got. You guys have to guess at that one.
Oh, fucking 36.
No, fuck no.
So 59 somehow.
LSU, Alabama, game of the day. Bama's a 3-point home favorite, over under 62, plus 145 on the money line. I hate myself for doing it. I bet the over. I want fun. I want points in this one. This is a heart play. This is a want. I bet the over.
Yeah, I'm going to be an understaker here. I'm under 62.5 for sure.
So I did nothing in this game, but I am in this contest, and this is what we had to make a bet in this game. I did bet the over 61.5 as my pick in the contest I'm in. Do you trust the LSU defense to generate stops? They're insanely banged up, especially in the back four, but is Milton going to be able to take advantage of it? That's the
thing with Milton is like the only thing he does is either run it or have a big play. And I don't trust LSU's DBs right now to stop Alabama's wide receivers from being able to get downfield and catch his deep balls.
Flip side, this Bama defense is good, but it's not kind of like the Bama defense we've been accustomed to in years past. Because the NIL, they just aren't as deep, and those guys that would have been second stringers coming in during those random times, they're gone. They're starting other places because of the money. Do you guys care to guess where Bama ranks offensively this year in the SEC?
Ooh.
9th.
7th.
Jace.
Got it?
Damn.
So that's a big thing. Bama's O-line isn't as good as it's been in the past. The line was at 6. It's dropped all the way down to 3. So I kind of feel you missed the boat if you're betting LSU at this point. I think both defenses suck. And in that case, I would lean to the over, but I'm wiping my hands clean. And I'll be watching another game that we'll get to later on the main screen.
Miami, Florida, NC State. Miami is a 6-point road favorite, over under 44, plus 200 on the money line. I took NC State plus 6.5. I just don't trust this Miami team at the moment. I don't like Cristobal. I don't like anything like that. Give me NC State.
Isn't this this has to be a Miami spot though, because you have NC State coming off the big win, right?
This is a fade Miami spot. I don't like Miami.
I got something.
Okay.
I look at it as a situational fade for Miami because they have Florida State on deck. Who is Taylor Van Dyke, who is hurt to be laying this many points on the road? NC State defense is elite. They allowed only 202 yards last week against Clemson. And I know Clemson's offense has been struggling, but that's 202 yards in a football game with 72 of them coming on one play. That's elite level stuff. This Miami team, another thing, how tested are they on the road? This is only their 3rd road game of the season, and we're already in November. You look at NC State, tough place to play since 2005. NC State, 56% against the number as a conference dog. I think NC State's defense is going to be able to limit Miami, and I think Miami's metrics defensively are a little bit higher than people realize. North Carolina was able to move the ball at ease with them. I'll take NC State here. I played them at +6 and +192 on the money line.
It's a don't touch for me now then. You've talked me off the ledge, Uncle Rico.
Stanford, Washington State. Washington State's a 13.5-point home favorite, over under 59, plus 395 on the money line for the Cardinal.
What happened to Washington State, man?
Arizona.
It's just since that UCLA game, it's not been great.
Yeah, that's really not.
I kind of feel like, and we kind of see this in college football, you see a defense kind of change up schemes, and then every team just does it until the offense kind of adjusts. And Ward was a turnover machine last year, and he kind of had some good matchups defensively he was able to take advantage of. And then we talked about UCLA. They made that DC change, and they just shredded him up, and he kind of has come back to what we've seen last year and when he was at that D2 school he played at, whose name I'm spacing at.
Also, let's make some money. The answer to that question is yes. It was high enough.
Oh God, you outscored me, didn't you?
Well, what do
I'm
you
the
have to
dumbest
get?
one in the
I
room.
thought you just had to get like a 20 to.
No, like a
qualify.
17.
Yeah, like a
17 or
17.
18.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 19. I don't know. It might be a 17. You guys would know better than I would.
Western Kentucky, UTEP. Western Kentucky is a 9-point road favorite, over under 54.5, plus 290 on the money line for the Miners.
How does this
49ers.
UTEP coach still have a fucking job?
Dana
Dana
Dimmel. Dana
I think
Dimmel, baby.
I think he's just cool with living in El Paso. Like that's the
Like-
number one question that they ask at the interviews is, "Hey, are you cool with living in El Paso?" Most people go, "Eh."
This team is so underachieving. It's fucking comical. They should be way better. They won last week. They're on extended rest. I wanted to take UTEP, but I just couldn't get around to it. So
I can't do it. I'm sorry. I cannot. I also wanted to take UTEP. Can't.
Nope.
Also, thanks for that comment, Tether. I'm going to keep calling Tether TV. Oregon State, Colorado. Oregon State is a 13-point road favorite, over under of 61, plus 400 on the money line for Colorado.
The number feels too big for some reason, though I do really like this Oregon State team. I think I better not touch this because I feel a little bit icky on either side of it.
I haven't wanted to touch a Colorado game since, I don't know, the USC, since after Oregon. Like, I've just been wanting to stay away from this team. I touched Arizona State, but that was it.
I won my. Go ahead.
No, I was bringing up a comment, and you can go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, Sports Facts asks, am I crazy liking Colorado? I don't think
You're
that
not.
you are.
I don't think so either, especially at home.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think you're crazy liking Oregon State either. Like, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't think you're crazy for liking them, though, for sure.
I mean, I look at this game like, can Colorado stop the run? And can Oregon State do enough offensively to keep up? That's kind of how I look at this game. I have to say props to Dion. I mean, I think we can all agree this rebuild is way ahead where I thought it's going to be. And I really think the interesting thing is next year, when we see these coaches switch jobs, because we all know this is going to happen, are people going to follow this Deion Sanders mold when they just do a complete coin flip of the roster that they have? Because when you look at this roster, that's what it is. It's a complete coin flip. Are we going to see more coaches kind of take that route? It's going to be. I
don't. If they try to do, I don't know if it'll work for them as well as it'll work for Dion.
Is it the Deion Sanders or is it the Sonny Dykes?
Sonny did do a lot of that at TCU.
That's true.
It seems like, and you kind of see the downfall after it happens. Like, and then it seems like you'll have to have got to get the budget up to have another year to throw like insane NIL money and get all the transfers in next time, to have another run.
I mean, let's look at, he already got a big 4-star recruit coming in at quarterback to take over when his son doesn't leave for the draft. God only knows what Hunter's going to do with the draft, but I think the talent build is there. And if you take one of these, like hypothetically, whoever takes the Michigan State job, they're probably going to have to do the same thing, because the talent isn't there.
I think the difference with Dion is that he can work the transfer portal, do this entire flip, and then he has the name brand recognition and recruiting to be able to the transfer portal is the jump start. And then the recruiting is the fuel that just kind of keeps it going, so it doesn't have like a Sonny Dykes kind of fall off in the future, maybe.
The biggest thing I'm looking for Colorado next year is to see who they get like in the trenches, see what they do for their offensive and defensive lines, because it's bad.
Shador been running for his life most of the season.
Also, flip side, what happened? Because their offensive coordinator, I'm spacing on the guy's name. He was at K-State.
Kent State,
Kent State. What happens if he gets a job? Because he did a pretty solid job of putting together a coaching staff. So
I think the Nick Saban jumps to become his defensive coordinator if the DC leaves. I'm sure Dion's probably calling the plays. I don't know who's calling the plays on defense there in Colorado. You would think it's Dion, and all the plays are run as fast as me.
I'm trying to see what he said. Okay, so never mind. I'm just looking some stuff up. It was Sean Lewis is the guy's name, I believe.
Yeah.
He was coach at Kent State and was just offensive guru. Up next, Boise State, Fresno State. Fresno State's a 2.5-point home favorite, over under 54. Plus 120 on the money line for Boise. Nothing.
Nada.
I'll
be rooting for Fresno.
I'll be rooting for Fresno. I want to pull the trigger and I can't. You guys give me the courage to not play this game.
UCLA, Arizona. UCLA is a 2.5-point road favorite. Over under a 50, plus 120 on the money line for Arizona. Chase!
Go ahead. Give me Arizona on the money line, plus 115.
I love it.
I like that play a lot.
Jeb Fish being quietly doing a really, really good job in Arizona this year.
I like to see that guy as a Michigan State coach next year.
He's on your list too. He's on your list too, huh?
He's not. I have my list. That's gonna be my new thing.
He's somewhere on the list.
Where is he on the list?
He's number one.
Oh,
He's number one. Lance is number two. Faulkner's number three.
You gonna put Matt Campbell on there somewhere?
Matt Campbell, you know what? No, I'll put Dan Campbell number one.
I like your Arizona play, Chase. I got nothing else. Are you guys ready for some parlays and round robin?
Oh, Jesus. All right. I'm going to have to start getting like a bottle of Jack here when you do your goddamn teaser, but let's do it.
Okay, my round robin is this. I'm taking Arkansas over Florida, K-State over Texas, Oklahoma State over Oklahoma, Virginia Tech to win against Miami, and I'm rounding it out with Pitt over Florida State.
Jesus.
Uncle Rico, you mind going?
My round robin is this. Did a 6-teamer, did it by twos, and then did the big 6-teamer.
Same way I did it.
Starting out, we're going NC State plus 192, USC plus 134, OK State plus 196, Arkansas plus 167, Middle Tennessee State plus 147, and we're going the Fighting Dabo Sweeneys at plus 144. That's the Clemson Tigers.
I like that we had a little overlap there, Eric.
Okay. I'm going to do an all early 4-teamer here and going to play it as 4s and then also do it as 2s, where if I hit on all the 2s, it's a plus 2765. If I hit on the 4-teamer, it's only plus 21. So we're going to go Arkansas money line over Florida. We're going to go K-State money line over Texas. We're going to go Rutgers plus 19.5. And for me, it just moved to Notre Dame minus 3.5 plus 100. I threw that on there too. Those 4.
Of course, before I get to my beautiful, beautiful, disgusting teaser, you guys want to spend another 45 minutes breaking down every FCS game today too?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I totally don't have horse racing Super Bowl this weekend or anything.
Is the teaser. Tease down Louisiana Lafayette to minus half a point.
Jesus. Okay.
Tease Rice up to 19.5.
Yes. Hooty-hoo.
Tease Navy down to just half a point.
Let's go, midshipmen.
UNLV tease them down to 5. UNLV minus 5. Teasing down Western Kentucky to minus 3.
That's your loss right there.
Western Kentucky minus 3. They're losing outright.
Yep.
Teasing Wisconsin down to 3.
Duh.
Jesus, dude, you're killing me right now.
I'm teasing Charlotte to plus 10.5, baby. Disrespected Biff Poggi. I'm teasing Georgia Tech to 7.5.
Okay.
I'm teasing Marshall to plus 9.5 versus App State. I'm teasing Ohio State down to 12.5.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'm teasing Penn State to minus 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 leg teaser plus 3,300.
Okay. 3,300 for 19 teams, dude. Like
no, for 11 teams.
For 11
teams.
It's still.
Jim, I just want to let you know my resting heart rate is like 55, 54. When you do this, it gets up in the 70s, dude.
I bet it does.
So, sports fact, I would kind of want odds a little better than plus 105 there. I mean, I don't, of course, with the Moonlight isn't going to be, crazy odds too, but it is Charlie Appleby and William Buick. Now, when you look at Win with Maryland, this is a Japanese horse, and I've often said that we are waiting for our Japanese overlords essentially to start taking over the Breeders' Cup because they're winning everything internationally. It's only a matter of time till they start winning these big American races too. And also I've seen, runs over firm turf in Japan, and also, that's going to be the big factor is how does the horse handle firm turf when Maryland's got like a lot of upside there. So I say if you can get better odds, yes. If you can't, I don't know. That's a little bit because it's still Charlie Appleby and William Buick.
Any parting shots before we dip out? Great week, great Saturday of college football.
Amazing. It's unfortunate that I'm going to have to watch horse races, right? Like I kind of wish I could just be watching football all day today.
Jim, you want to have a little bet on the Michigan State North Nebraska game?
Sure. What's the bet?
6-pack of Miller Lite, dude.
Just straight up or cover the spread?
We'll just go straight up, dude.
Okay, I'll do a 6-pack. I'll do Miller Lite for you. I'll take High Life.
Sounds good, dude. We're in.
Okay, my last parting thought. Take Harvard minus 13 versus Columbia. Love you guys. We'll see you next week for another episode of the College Football Tailgate. Toodaloo, everybody!